Good morning, everyone. My name is Professor Arturo Morris, a licensed professional teacher, and I'm here to teach you about teaching profession. Before we start, let us have a simple prayer. Dear God, we thank you for your love, your promise to be with us at school or work, at rest or play. Help us to feel near you and hear your voice. Guide us to always do our best in every situation and to love one another. Amen. So, this course is Teaching Profession. Chapter 1 is all about the teacher as a person in the society. There are certain topics that we need to discuss. The first one is a teacher as individual person, the teacher as a professional, the teacher as a community leader and social advocate, the teacher as a model of character, the teacher as an expert. This chapter focuses on to explore significant literatures and theories in understanding the personal traits, values, important needs, rights, and roles of teachers in the society. The chapter includes activities about the human side of teaching profession. It allows us to critically reflect on relevant practices and issues of teachers. Our objectives for this day are identify several roles performed by teachers in the society, discuss the values of teachers as community leaders, appreciate the role of teachers in the society. Teaching is the profession that teaches all of the other professions. It is true that teachers are very important in the society because it produces responsible citizens in the community, just like doctors, just like nurse, and different kinds of professions that requires education in a school. And the school needs a teacher. That's why we create different professions all over the globe. But why teaching is a profession? Teaching is a profession because it refers to a work, job, career, or occupation. The word profession refers to a job or career or occupation. But how about if we put noble to describe the profession? Because it is a saying that teaching is a noble profession. When we say noble, it is having a showing high moral qualities or character. So therefore, we can say that teaching is a high moral qualities or character work, job, career, or occupation. It requires high moral qualities or character to become a teacher. If you consider teaching as a profession, then you must be willing to go through a long period of preparation. You must be willing to go through continuing education. You must also strive for excellence. You must commit yourself to moral, ethical, and religious values and dedicate yourself to service. But what are the roles of a teacher in the society? Teachers are the backbone of society. There are role models to children, offer guidance and dedication, and give young people the power of education. We empower the students or the children in the society. Because of teachers, countries are able to further develop socially and economically. Teacher as a person in the society. How do we understand the teaching profession? I have here two images that I want you to give a reaction or opinion. Can you please give me a definition or a description by describing these images that I have shown you? Correct. Teacher is a facilitator of learning in the classroom. We facilitate learning in the classroom. We give instructions. We give definitions, lectures, and lessons to our students. We facilitate not only the values inside of the classroom, but the lessons that we are preparing before the prior subject matter. Also, teacher is a second parent to his or her learners. We give pieces of advice, we give different kinds of words of encouragement to our students to help them to become a better person. The key to understand the teaching profession is to know the personal and professional lives of a teacher. In this image, teacher came from different families, societies, and schools. Teacher is also an individual person, a professional, a community leader, and an advocate, a model of character, and as an expert. It is important for us to understand that teachers are products of family where they belong, because the family values and the home environment that shape their belief, character, and personal values are reflected in their personality, values, and personal philosophy. If the teacher is a God-fearing teacher, he can pass it on to his students or the or the future generation. If the teacher is a simple, graceful, joyful teacher, definitely it will reflect to the personality of a teacher inside of the classroom. Second, the society's culture, values, norms, religion, and environment are influential in shaping the life of a teacher as individual and as a professional. It has something to do with the culture, which is defined as a set of shared attitude, values, goals, practices that characterize an institution or an organization. Therefore, the role of a teacher is to become a servant leader in the community because they are the beacon of light to all people whom they are encountered. So it has something to do with the society's culture, which is shaping the life of a teacher as an individual and as a professional. Third, it is a fact that schools or educational institutions are contributory to the development of their expertise, talents, knowledge, skills, and philosophy as a professional. So we learn the educational institutions are helpful to to harness that expertise, talents, and knowledge, skills, and especially the philosophy as a professional. So it is very important to know what kind of educational institution did the teacher comes from, because it will reflect the philosophy of the school or educational institution to the profession or to the professional teacher that you have. Key points. Teachers are the backbone of society. Teachers are products of the family where they belong. Teachers are servant leaders. Society's culture is influential in shaping the life as individual and the professional. Teachers are beacon of light to all people whom they encountered. Schools or educational institutions are contributory to the development of teachers' expertise, talents, knowledge, skills, and philosophy as a professional. Teacher as an individual person. According to Pelletier 2004, understanding the teaching profession deeper appreciation of the lives of teachers as individuals in the society. Teachers are given high regard in the society for multiple roles they perform aside from teaching. Because of what reason? As society becomes more complex, its values are becoming more pluralistic. The areas of responsibility for teachers become wider because of the different um, perspectives transforming in the society. So it is becoming more complicated than before. And that is why the responsibility of a teacher becomes wider and wider. According to research methods in education by Cohen, Mannion, and Morrison, they pointed out that teaching is more than just a simple job. because teachers are modern heroes. Teachers are servant leaders. Teachers are knowledge providers, and teachers as a community organizer. Therefore, there are multiple roles played by a teacher. That is why it is considered that not just a simple job. Also, teachers have different talents and skills. It is always desirable for teachers to possess various skills, talents that they can use and share as they perform their teaching tasks. For example, teachers with musical talents are great assets. If you're teaching English language to your students and your topic is a poem, you can utilize the musical instrument to play the guitar to catch the attention of your students. Those who are musically acquainted definitely will catch the attention of yours to your lesson. Therefore, you have what they call 100% of interest inside of your classroom. I will give you the 21st century educator characteristics because now we are dealing with 21st century learners inside of our classroom. A teacher must be an adapter. You must learn to adapt the situation that you are encountering inside of your classroom. As a communicator, you must learn how to communicate well, not only with your language, your native language, but at the same time with the second language that you are required to do so. As a learner, you must also learn from your students, from your colleagues, because teaching is a never-ending experience and learning, because experience is the great teacher. A visionary, you must be a goal-oriented person. As a teacher, you must always put yourself in a certain part where you can see the goals of your students. When you enter the classroom, you know what will happen inside and outside of the classroom. A leader, you must always remember that you are leading the way to your students. That is why it is very important to become a role model. A role model is very important to your character because the children or the students will always mimic you or always looking up to you as a teacher. You must also learn to collaborate to your colleagues and also to your students in able to have a harmonious relationship in a society or in an organization. And at the same time, you must be a risk taker. You should not always maintain yourself with one source or one reference. You must look at different sources or references. You must always find yourself in a risk-taking action. You should not be afraid to take a mistake because you will learn from those mistakes. The key points here, teachers are giving high regard in the society for multiple roles they perform aside from teaching. Teaching is more than just a simple job. Teaching is a modern hero, servant leader, knowledge provider, and a community organizer. So, let's proceed to our activity. Before we proceed with our activity, I would like to ask, do you have any question with my lecture or violent reaction? If none, I will proceed with our activity for today. Now, the activity is called fill in the blanks. You need to provide correct word or words to complete each statement. Like for example, teachers are products of blank where they belong. What do you think is the right answer? Correct. The right answer, teachers are products of the family where they belong. According to our lesson, it is very important to know that the personality of a teacher comes from the family where he or she belongs. So, the right answer for this, number 2, leaders. Number 3, influential. Number 4, beacon of light. Number 5 is multiple roles. How many of you got 5 points? Very good, because you already know what are the purpose or multiple roles of a teachers in a society. Now let's check your comprehension. Answer the following question briefly and concise according to Veritier and to the research methods in education by Cohen, Mannion, and Morrison. The first question is, what are the areas of responsibility where teachers become why the teachers of responsibility why the areas of responsibility for teachers become wider? 2. Why teaching is not a simple job. 3. Give the four roles of teachers in the society mentioned by Cohen, Mannion, and Morrison. I'll give you 5 minutes to answer this activity. Thank you for that answer. Let us check. Society becomes more complex because its values are becoming more pluralistic. The areas of responsibility for teachers become wider. So therefore, it is the correct answer. Teaching is not a simple job because teachers played multiple roles in the society. Number 3, teachers are modern heroes, servant leaders, knowledge provider, community organizer. So there are 4 roles mentioned uh, by the methods in teaching education: modern heroes, servant leaders, knowledge provider, and community organizer. Okay, so the next topic that we're going to discuss is the body parts of a teacher. Did you know that there are different kinds of body parts in our anatomy? Therefore, we use this as a teacher. First is the brain. We use our brain to think critically and creatively. Do not rely with books or other references and sources. You just have to create your own. So you need to become creative and think critically. Our eyes is used to see the individual needs, strength, and the nature of each student. Our ears is used to listen to students' ideas and concerns. So we should not isolate ourselves to our own ideas, but we can also hear the voices of our students. We use our hands to guide students and to show direction, to show the right direction to the students. We use our hearts to love all the students, regardless of who and what they are. We use our mouth to speak the truth, discuss knowledge, and speak wisdom to the students. We don't use our mouth to say bad words or to discourage the students from learning. And we use our feet to walk with the students, explore the surroundings of the school, and discover new knowledge and information. So guide them to different areas of the school where they can learn. And lastly, the nose is used to breathe deeply and relax when we are feeling tired and pressured. So, I want you to fill out this information with the body parts of a teacher. So we have the brain, hands, feet, mouth, and heart. All you need to do is to create your own definition about how can we use our body parts to our teaching profession. Thank you for that answer. So application of our lesson, what are the personal characteristics of an ideal teacher? What are the talents do you have and skills that you have that can be shared or used when you become a full-fledged teacher? 3. Think about the teacher whom you consider to be talented and skillful in his or her teaching, and how do his or her talent benefited in his or her teaching. So do not forget, who dares to teach must never cease to learn, because life is a never-ending process, and life is a never-ending lesson. Thank you for listening, and I hope that you learned something from my lesson. You can just check out and send your answers to my activities to my Facebook account. Thank you, and may God bless us all.